This next story I'm going to be telling you about was emailed to me by a gentleman. I've changed his name so we can't know exactly who he is. And also, if you hear my dogs barking, I apologize. I'm doing the best I can to keep the noise down, but I can't control them. But with that being said, this story, I'm going to call the gentleman name. I'm going to call him Andy. This happened in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. He said his family went out to the weekend cabin, and they were enjoying their self, and it was getting really late in the evening, and they were kicked back playing cards. He said all of a sudden their cabin lit up like no other. So he said his brother, his brother-in-law, his uncle, and himself went outside to investigate. He said when they got outside, it was so dark out, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. Then the light started flashing again. It was a big orb coming out of the lake. When it lit up, it was so bright you couldn't look at it. It lit up the whole land. My brother said we better get back inside the cabin. And right at that moment, we saw a Bigfoot run across the road into the woods. Now, I don't know much about UFOs or really, a whole bunch about Bigfoot, but I have seen a Bigfoot, but I've never seen a UFO, but I do believe that they do exist. But that being said, they saw the Bigfoot run across the road and run into the woods. He said his Doberman seen him running and went after him. He said my dog caught up to him, and I could hear my dog yelping and gurgling like he cut his throat or something. I started running towards it to save my dog when my brother tackled me and made me go into the cabin. My dog came back a little while later. To my surprise, he was okay, but very shook up. He laid in the corner the rest of the weekend. This is a 120-pound dog. There are other areas up there where he has seen Bigfoots in the broad daylight. He said they've also observed UFOs back and forth in the sky chasing each other. That night when the orbs came out of the lake, they would flash for about 10 seconds, then go up about 30 feet or so, then go back into the lake the same way they came up. This made me rule out that it was swamp gas. So he said, when my brother made me go to the cabin, back to the cabin, the Bigfoot growled at us. Then you could hear that cutthroat sound. My brother-in-law told me to back up slowly, but I couldn't. I froze until they pulled me backwards toward the cabin. At that time, they asked me where my knife was. They didn't realize it until later, but they all put their knives away without realizing it, which they thought was odd because they didn't even remember doing it. When we got back to the cabin, somehow we had locked ourselves out and we had to bang on the door to have the ladies wake up and let us in. The next morning, we found footprints all over, including under our bedroom window where it was looking inside. So to me, this is an amazing story. I've heard about these lights. I've heard even people in the military, seeing lights come out of the ocean, things flying up out of the ocean with lights and flying off. So, I don't know what to think about it. They're seeing something for sure. And, I've heard people think that the Bigfoot and UFOs are related. I really don't know myself. I don't know enough about it. But I do know that these people saw something and they were terrified, and their dog was terrified. And the fact that they couldn't remember even putting their knives away makes me feel like somebody had control of their minds. But it's an incredible story. And I hope you enjoy my stories. And if you do, please consider subscribing because it helps my channel and it allows me to make more videos. and give it a thumbs up. It doesn't cost anything to do this, and it could help me grow a lot more and the algorithm pick me up and put me out so people can see my videos. So I appreciate you all, and until next time, I'll see you then.